Thank you, Taylor. So the first thing I'm going to discuss today is going to be communication patterns in Germany, because they are a lot different than here in the U.S. So for Germans, first impressions are extremely important. If someone gives a bad first impression, that could be the end of the business relationship right from the get-go. And they also communicate through telephone, but with phones it's extremely important that you have the right greeting. You always greet someone by their last name, never their first name. That's typically reserved for family members. And then just kind of in general, the way they communicate across all mediums, they're extremely quick. They like to get to the point, and they're very formal. So because of this, there's also a lot of written communication, and this is done for two ways. One, to just back up all the decisions they make, and second, to maintain record and adequate documentation for those decisions. And next is kind of the business customs and etiquette, because again, this is very different than the U.S., and they value three things above everything else, and that's order, privacy, and punctuality. So private lives and business lives in Germany are kept extremely separate. Those things are never to cross, and also title is key. So your superior is always to be addressed by their full title, full last name, and you're never to question a decision that a superior makes, and those are just kind of, the way it goes. And then for people of equal title, kind of the main goal for that, which goes back to privacy, the main goal is just to get your task done and to get it done on time, which then relates back to punctuality, and it needs to be done right, on time, on schedule. And third is the way Germans negotiate between other companies. So those are typically always done through meetings, whether they're face-to-face, teleconferences, or video conferences, but face-to-face is the most common. And those are typically made months in advance and always by appointment. There's no exceptions for that. And when you do get that meeting, you need to make sure that you have solid facts and then facts to back them up. And then for the decision process, that's typically pretty slow and pretty detailed. But then once a decision is made, action steps are then implemented, and a handshake is someone's bond, and a verbal agreement is binding. And lastly is going to be, that I'm going to talk about, is going to be conflict resolution. And Germany is one of the main countries who is adding money to their conflict management, because they saw that this increased employee satisfaction, which then reduced their costs, and it also reduced their external legal costs when they implemented alternate dispute management in their business-to-business relationships, because it kind of just made everyone happy. And then they also implemented pools of mediators, is what they call it. So it's basically people in the company who it's their job to kind of dispute the conflict within the company itself. So yeah, that's it for this. Next, Nathan is going to discuss time and personal space. Thank you.